You are back with Baz. You're listening to Blues on the Hill. It's our Motor City Music Festival special. Before I tell you about that bracket and what you just heard, it is my pleasure to welcome back into the Blues on the Hill studios Festival Director, Mr. Hugo T. Armstrong. Hugo, welcome back to Blues on the Hill.
Baz, man, great to see you. Has it been a year already?
It has been a year already.
And how time flies.
Let me congratulate you on getting the chance to go again. Absolutely, the people of Geelong didn't let you down.
No, they didn't. It was great. About 5,500 people turned up for year one, which, well, you know, it was about our expectations, but we were just rapt to kick something off. And as you know, we kicked off that festival on the back of 20 years of our other business, the Blues Train. But yeah, it was just great to see people get out. Geelong, if you may or may not know, did not have a music festival, or has never really had a music festival of its own. And so, you know, about time we thought, and it was just great, Baz. We really enjoyed it. So there was always a 3-year plan, so here we are at year 2. Well, I think what's special about it is the Geelong Showgrounds. I don't know what you thought, Baz, but it's not out on the main arena. It's in a series of pavilions and parkland. Geelong Showgrounds is the second largest showgrounds in Victoria, second only to the Melbourne Showgrounds, and also it's 52 acres. It's got a lot of history. It's one of the oldest showgrounds, of course, as you'd imagine Geelong's history being on the back of the sheep's back. And at this year's festival, you know, I'm bringing out more and more. I've got a vintage machinery club coming out with a steam truck. We're going to have Furphy on the back and Furphy Beer, which is the new Little Creatures beer brewed. The steam truck's going to be going around doing beer stops for everyone. So, you know, we're bringing in a lot of that, some of the old machinery, some of the old tractors, some of the old cars. So slowly that sort of synergy between what is a play on words, Motor City and Detroit, Motor City Music Festival, that's coming into the festival, being integrated. But most of all, one open air stage in a sort of day on the green style, and then 5 undercover venues, and they're all these really quite unique pavilions at the showgrounds. And I think a lot of people, I think probably for me one of the best things last year was when the caretaker Bill, who's been there 40, 50 years, came up to me on the Sunday night with a little tear in his eye, and he said to me, he said, you know, when you first came in here a few times and I met you, he said, I thought you were batshit crazy. But he said, I've never seen the showgrounds look so good. He just loved it. He thought it looked $1 million. And the Showman's Bar, the little old Showman's Bar.
That was my favourite.
It was like a real juke joint. People said to me, everyone said, I put that little jukebox in the corner. It was literally a tin shed with a bar in it. And so many musicians said this is the closest thing I've ever played to a real juke joint anywhere in the world, outside of being in America, of course. So
totally
people
agree.
just walked in and went, oh, this tin shed with leaded windows, with the bar. We didn't change the names of any of the venues. It is the Showman's Bar. It always has been, always will be. So a lot of that stuff. So, you know, look, I'm just rapt to be doing it again. And you know, what we started off, I see this ad here, 40 bands on 5 stages. We're already at 50 at the moment. So, yeah, it'll be busy.
Fantastic. Yeah, the Showman's Bar, once you got in there, you didn't want to get out of it because of the feel of the place. Absolutely
It wasn't
wonderful.
because you had a couple of mojitos in there, was it?
Well, you know, there was some good drinks there. But from one extreme to the other, then across to the main arena, or the main blues arena.
Yeah, in the
which
big
is
hall,
massive.
Hall of Agriculture, yeah. It's a massive structure. And then out on the open air stage under the largest windmill in the Southern Hemisphere. But I'm putting a bit bigger staging this year. Just a few improvements, but look, we put in some pretty high-end audio, make sure people heard the best concert they could hear, really good live shows. I want it to sort of be the best it can be. I mean, I'm 47 now. I've already run one music festival in my life. I probably think this is the one that'll see me out. You know, I never say never, Baz, but this has been a great one at this period in my life to say, you know, no, I want to have this light show and I want to have this sound system, and you know, bring in the stuff that Music Workshop brought in for us. We brought in a lot of, you know, really good quality audio to try and get the best. I mean, you can only do so much in a pavilion or whatever, but I really wanted it to get the best sound I could out for the festival, because you're there to see and hear music.
Well, it's all about the quality, and I mean, it flows on from the Blues Train, of course. You know, the Blues Train is quality, and you've brought that to Motor City as well.
Yeah, oh, thanks, mate. Well, look, we're really happy to be doing it. As I said, the really big commitment's been to blues. Last year we just had one international act because he was out on tour with Jimmy Hocking, which is Bert DeVert, the mandolin player. This year Gwyn Ashton's out, but other than that, it's about Australian music, about Australian bands, and look, if someone's passing through, they're always welcome. But I've worked really hard to make sure that it's all our blues mates as well. But then on the Sunday this year, I have brought in one stage of a big country music lineup as well.
We'll talk about that later. We'll leave it there. You are back with Baz, and you are listening to Blues on the Hill. It's our Motor City Music Festival special. I am with director Hugo T. Armstrong. Hugo, what a bracket that was.
That's pretty good. Now, we didn't mention Jesse Valesh's Blues Mountain we played earlier, but you heard Cass Eager and the Velvet Rope, and when I spoke to you earlier, I said I had a bit of gossip. At Way Out West Club, Cass was backed by Jesse's band, and at Motor City Music Festival you're going to get to see Sydney's own Cass Eager and the Velvet Rope that particular weekend, March long weekend for Motor City will be Jesse's backing band, so I think that's going to be a real treat. So I've staggered the gigs so they get a break before they come on with the big man himself, Jesse Valesh, with that beautiful voice, and one of my favourite acts.
Absolutely.
Such a great show.
Yeah, what a great pairing. Well done on that one. Now also in there, we had the wonderful Pugsley Buzzard, another edition.
Yeah, caught up with Pugsley last weekend. Have you seen him with the three-piece band with the tuba player and the drummer? Did you throw the rubber chicken in the tuba?
Yeah, they did all that. Yeah. I saw him, he came to Melbourne last year and he brought someone with him, and a great piano show.
Wayne Drury and Sweet Felicia, what a great duo. And Felicia will be there, of course, with her incredible band. But Wayne, I'm doing something special on the Sunday. Last year at Motor City Music Festival, I did the Wayne Drury 4, but then all of a sudden I saw Brian Fraser up there on electric guitar. Now, Brian Fraser, most people know as an acoustic blues player, but he was in a Geelong band a long time ago called the Grizzly Brothers, and he was the electric guitarist in that band. And I think once in 1996 I saw them, but I really can't recall much about it. And so I saw Brian Fraser up playing electric with Wayne, and so Wayne's going to put down the guitar. Troy, his regular guitarist, will play, and be a real frontman and a real singer for that show, because that's what he was with Nathan Cavalieri Band, if you remember Nathan. So I think that's going to be a real treat. And B Phrase is a filthy. He's another one of these guys, a bit like the bloke in the studio out there, Lloyd Spiegel, who you don't see play a lot of electric guitar, and that's okay. But when you do, I reckon it's a real treat. And we did that with Lloyd last year, got him up on the electric, and I know it's all a bit easy for him on the electric, but it's really great for the audience to see those things.
And is he going to mix with last year with Jimmy and Jeff?
Yeah, so it's Lloyd, Jimmy, Jeff, Gwyn Ashton, and I think Jesse Valesh, and we might even get Sammy Owen up. I think there's going to... Let's just say, Baz, thank God I'm not paying them all by the note.
that is blues guitar heaven you just described.
Look, we're going to do the big shootout, the big Saturday night shootout in the Hall of Ag at the festival. Look, it's going to be a lot of fun. Also, before that, what can I say? Cass Eager and the Velvet Rope, followed by Sammy Owen Blues Band, followed by Chubby Ray and the Elevators, the Detonators, then Jimmy.
Wow.
And then the other stage is John McNamara, Sweet Felicia, Lloyd Spiegel, Chris Wilson Band, Jesse Valesh's Blues Mountain, and then Spoonful. And then on the other stage is Chris Wilson, Jeff Atchison, Gwyn Ashton, Pugsley Buzzard, and Claude Hay. I mean, that's just 3 stages. I think we're all going to be in blues heaven.